Hi guys, BellaDonna Black here, and this following story comes from the subreddit Let's Never Meet. So, turn off the lights, get comfortable, and let's begin. So, I've been lurking here for a few days now, but finally decided to share the story that kept coming to mind while reading all of these. I suppose it could be a bit triggering, and is actually a bit more than what I'm used to hearing. So, if it doesn't fit this sub, mods, please take it down. Anyways, my mother has always taught me to be cautious of strangers. I went through so many different role plays with my parents, practicing saying, "Help, help, he's not my father, help," and punching and kicking, and feeling about in case I ever got kidnapped. I was told if someone asked for my car keys, to throw them across the parking lot and run the other way. I was told that if someone threatened to shoot me, unless I did what they said, to let them shoot me, because whatever they were going to do was so much worse. What I didn't realise was that this was unusual. Sure, most kids got the rundown, but it was so heavily emphasised in my house. I later was told the story of why it was. This story comes from my mother. She was 16 at the time. She was getting ready to go out to the mall with some friends and was upstairs for several hours getting ready. Meanwhile, my aunt was sick on the couch in the living room and my grandmother was waiting in the kitchen. She had put out an ad in the local paper for selling teenage girl clothes, and the man had called saying that he had come by to take a look. When he arrived, he was all kinds of creepy, but my grandma thought nothing of it. Really, she happily let him in. Flash forward about 10 minutes. Mum hears a noise downstairs. That's a bit unusual. Now, I'd love to say that she climbed out the window and got away and called the police like a total badass, but she didn't. And it was a good thing that she didn't. She came downstairs to find, in her living room, her sister and her mother kneeling over the couch, hands tied behind their back, sobbing with the man holding the knife above them. Upon seeing my mother, my grandmother had insisted that there was no one else in the house. The man panicked a bit. He froze and then ordered her to get over here. Now, while it may have been logical for her to run, the police later said that what my mother did next saved them. She slowly and calmly said to him, Okay, you're in control here, okay, and walked over and did what he said. Throughout this, my mother remained scary calm. She didn't panic. She may have saved their lives. She even remained calm as he brought them to the basement, nearly hung my aunt, kicked her tiny dog down the stairs. The dog was fine, by the way, but entirely useless, curling up in its bed and sleeping through the rest of the ordeal, and kicked her with a steel-toed boot. I'm going to skip the rest of the details here because they aren't really useful to this story, nor will they help you give a good idea of what to do in this situation. So, fast forward an hour. Remember how my mother was getting ready to go to the mall? Well, her neighbour and her best friend arrived at the house. Her best friend, Sarah, rang the doorbell, expecting my mum or my grandmother to open the door. Instead, it was the man. Now, Sarah immediately got the creepy vibe from this guy. Hi? She said, a little wearily. Is Michelle here? Oh no, the man said. She's sick, she can't go out today. When the girl didn't immediately leave, he added, I'm her uncle, I'm helping them out. Oh, okay, tell her I said to feel better. Sarah quickly got away back to the car. Who was that? My mum's neighbour Carol asked. He said he's Michelle's uncle, Sarah replied, but doubted it a bit. Carol suddenly got this look on her face of anger and fear. She had been friends with my mum for a while, and despite being younger than them, she was protective. Sarah, I've known Michelle for a long time, and I've never seen that man. He is not her uncle, Carol said. So the girls drove back to Carol's house to tell her parents, and they eventually called the police. In the meantime, my mother and her family convinced the man to take their car and leave. He did. When the police arrived and started asking them questions, my mum's calm composure 180'd, and she started shrieking and grabbing the police officer by the shoulder and yelling, talk to me, I'm the calm one." To which the police officer responded by turning to another officer and saying sarcastically, "Oh, better talk to her. She's the calm one." My grandfather got a call and hurried home. The police began checking the house to see if anything had been stolen with my grandfather. When they got to my mum's room, the officer twisted around and blocked the door with his whole body. "Hold up," he cried. "This room's been ransacked." My grandfather looked through the mess of the girls' clothes and makeup and magazines and sighed. "Michelle, come here for a sec. Is this what the room looked like before?" My mother went upstairs and peeked in. "Yep," she said. "I get my disorganization from someone." For the next few days, my neighbours helped out by cooking them food and bringing them plants and gifts. My mum's teachers told her not to worry about homework assignments. Overall, my mum took the good that came from the story and suffered very few PTSD symptoms. She never wanted to be alone in the house until she had kids, but other than that, everything was fine for her. And what happened to the man? Well, as far as I know, he's still in prison. My mum never told me his name. She claimed she never actually cared to learn it, despite being a witness at the trial that put him away, where she claimed she didn't recognise her until she spoke, because she was finally not in pyjamas, but rather all made up and in a suit. Unfortunately, he didn't take the car and drive away happily. Eventually, turning himself in, he drove to the next state where he snapped. He pulled into a strip mall and stabbed a mother in front of her young daughter, killing her. The child began screaming and ran into the store where her father and brother were. The man chased her, but was quickly attacked by a college football star who happened to be in the right place at the right time. Together, he and the girl's father restrained the man, and the police took him away. He had made on parole for stalking his ex-girlfriend and the daughter he had lost custody of, and was living in a halfway house. He worked at a church when he repaired the roof. They were supposed to call the parole officer when he didn't show up, but didn't until later that night when he was already long gone. So, creepy guy who almost killed my mother? Let's not meet. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. You can also leave a comment below. All feedback, good or otherwise, is always appreciated. If you have any creepy stories of your own, or have any topics that you would like me to cover, feel free to send them in via any of my social media. You can find all links to my social media in the description below. Until next time guys, make sure you lock your doors, stay safe, and I'll see you next video.